The night sky, once filled with twinkling stars, has always been a source of wonder and inspiration for humanity. For centuries, people have gazed up at the heavens, marveling at the vast expanse of the universe and the mysteries it holds. But now, that same sky has become a place of mystery and unease. Strange lights have been appearing, casting an eerie glow that disrupts the familiar constellations. Across the United States, these strange lights are moving around in the dark. They are unidentified, unexplained, and often mistaken for drones. But are they really just drones, or is there something more sinister at play? The appearance of these lights has caused widespread concern. People are worried about national security and the potential threats these unidentified flying objects might pose. Everyone is seeking answers, but so far, none have been forthcoming. What are these strange flying things? Are they advanced military technology or something else entirely? The triangular shapes and unusual flight patterns only add to the mystery. Where do they come from? Are they from another country or perhaps even another world? The questions are endless, and the lack of concrete information only fuels speculation. And what are they doing? Are they conducting surveillance, or are they here for some other, more nefarious purpose? The silent, hovering presence of these objects is unsettling, to say the least. There are too many sightings all over the place for it to be just a coincidence. From coast to coast, people are reporting similar experiences, describing the same strange lights and unexplained phenomena. From busy cities on the East Coast to the quiet Midwest, the reports keep coming in. No region seems to be immune to these mysterious occurrences. The media has picked up on the story, with news reports about UFO sightings becoming more frequent. People are sharing their experiences on social media, creating a sense of collective unease. These silent drones in the night are making people feel unsafe. The once peaceful night sky now feels like a source of potential danger, a stark contrast to the sense of freedom it once represented. The huge American sky, once a symbol of freedom, now feels threatened. As we continue to search for answers, the mystery of these strange lights in the night remains unsolved, leaving us to wonder what else might be out there, watching us from above. New Jersey has become a hotspot for these mysterious drones. The Garden State has seen a big jump in sightings, making people and officials nervous. Governor Phil Murphy, clearly worried, spoke to the public, trying to be both careful and strong. "We're taking these reports very seriously," he told everyone. "Keeping our citizens safe is our top priority. We're working with the federal government to find out who's doing this and keep our skies safe." But his words didn't really calm people down. The drones, ignoring all the attention, kept flying at night. The mystery grew bigger, casting a shadow over the state. Things got serious when the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, did something they'd never done before. They stopped all flights over parts of New Jersey. This unprecedented move sent shockwaves through the aviation community and beyond. The FAA, known for its stringent regulations and meticulous oversight, had never taken such a drastic step. The decision was not made lightly, and it reflected the gravity of the situation. The skies, once bustling with the hum of engines and the sight of aircraft, were now eerily silent. It was as if the world had paused, holding its breath, waiting for what would come next. For several days, the skies, once busy with drone activity, became strangely quiet. The usual drone of engines and the sight of planes crisscrossing the sky were replaced by an unsettling stillness. Residents of New Jersey, who had grown accustomed to the constant aerial traffic, found the silence both disconcerting and oddly peaceful. The absence of planes was a stark reminder of the invisible threat that had disrupted their daily lives. People looked up, half expecting to see something, anything, but the sky remained clear and empty. The silence was a constant, unspoken question hanging in the air. Big planes were sent on different routes, and small planes couldn't fly at all. The rerouting of commercial flights caused delays and confusion as airlines scrambled to adjust their schedules. Small plane owners, grounded indefinitely, were left frustrated and anxious. Airports, usually hives of activity, were now quiet, with empty runways and deserted terminals. The economic impact was immediate, with businesses reliant on air travel feeling the strain. The ripple effects of the FAA's decision were felt far and wide, affecting not just the aviation industry, but the broader economy as well. The silence was very noticeable, a reminder of the unseen thing that had changed everyday life. It was a silence that spoke volumes, a stark contrast to the usual noise and activity. People couldn't help but feel a sense of unease, wondering what had prompted such drastic measures. The empty skies were a visual representation of the uncertainty and fear that had gripped the nation. It was a silence that made people reflect on the fragility of their routines and the unseen forces that could disrupt them so completely. The FAA didn't say much, and their silence just made people wonder more. The lack of information fueled speculation and rumours, with people turning to news outlets and social media for answers. The FAA's brief statements did little to quell the growing anxiety. Instead, they left more questions than answers. What was the nature of the threat? How long would the restrictions last? The public's trust in the FAA was tested as people sought clarity in a sea of uncertainty. The silence from the authorities only deepened the sense of mystery and concern. Were they close to finding out where the drones came from? The investigation was shrouded in secrecy, with few details released to the public. Experts pored over data, analysing drone sightings and trying to trace their origins. The mysterious drones had appeared seemingly out of nowhere, and their purpose remained unclear. Were they a new form of surveillance, a test of some new technology? The lack of answers only heightened the sense of urgency. The investigators worked tirelessly, knowing that the stakes were high and the pressure was mounting. Or were they just stalling, trying to figure out a threat they didn't understand? The uncertainty was palpable, with officials grappling with a situation that seemed to defy explanation. Theories abounded, but concrete answers were elusive. The FAA's actions, while necessary, were a stopgap measure, buying time as they sought to understand the nature of the threat. The public, meanwhile, was left in a state of limbo, caught between fear and curiosity. The skies had fallen silent, but the questions remained, echoing in the minds of everyone affected. Without official answers, people decided to solve the mystery themselves. This was especially true in the small town of Mendham, New Jersey. A group of worried people started the Skywatch Task Force. They wanted to keep an eye on the skies and share what they saw. With binoculars, telescopes, and a lot of determination, they watched the night sky, showing how uneasy everyone felt. Every flash of light, every strange sound was looked at, written down, and shared. Section 5. Whispers in the Wind. With so little real information and so much fear, people started guessing. Were these drones spying, secretly collecting information in America? Were they from another country, testing our defenses? Or was there a simpler reason, like a secret research project that went wrong? Theories, some believable and some crazy, spread as quickly as the drones themselves. Some people whispered about secret government projects, while others blamed big tech companies, known for wanting lots of data. Section 6. A warning ignored. The FAA, in a rare announcement, tried to address the growing worry. The Federal Aviation Administration, known for its usually reserved stance, felt compelled to speak out. The public had been growing increasingly anxious about the mysterious drones that had been appearing in the skies. These drones were not just a minor nuisance, they were causing widespread concern. They said they knew about the unusual drone activity, but didn't give a real explanation. The officials stood before the cameras, their faces serious, but their words offered little comfort. They acknowledged the presence of these drones, yet their statements were vague and non-committal. The lack of concrete information only fueled the public's unease. Instead, they gave a strong warning, saying unauthorized drones could be a security threat. The message was clear. These drones were not just a curiosity, they posed a potential danger. The FAA emphasized the risks, highlighting the possibility of these drones being used for malicious purposes. The warning signs were everywhere, but the public was left with more questions than answers. They reminded everyone that flying these drones was illegal and could have serious consequences. The FAA's reminder was stern and unequivocal. Unauthorized drone flights were not just against the rules, they were a serious breach of security. The consequences for those caught flying these drones could be severe, including hefty fines and possible imprisonment. The authorities were not taking this lightly, but no one seemed to listen. Despite the clear warnings and the potential consequences, the public's response was largely apathetic. People continued with their daily lives, seemingly oblivious to the warnings. The drones continued to fly, and the warnings went unheeded. It was as if the public had become desensitized to the potential dangers. The drones kept flying silently at night, a constant reminder of how vulnerable our skies are. As night fell, the drones became even more conspicuous. Their silent flight through the night sky was a stark reminder of the gaps in our security. The faint lights of the drones were a haunting sight, a symbol of the unseen threats that loomed above. The lack of a clear explanation and the feeling that no one was doing anything made people trust the government even less. The government's inability to provide a clear and reassuring explanation only deepened the public's mistrust. People felt abandoned, left to deal with the uncertainty on their own. Discussions and arguments about the drones became common, but solutions were nowhere in sight. The sense of frustration and helplessness was palpable, and the trust in the authorities continued to erode. Section 7. Laws grounded. All this drone activity showed a big weakness in our national security. Our current laws weren't made for this new kind of threat in the air. People tried to make new laws to give the authorities more power to track, stop, and even destroy unauthorized drones. But others fought against it. People who care about civil liberties said these new laws would violate the privacy of regular people. The argument continued, a standstill that showed how hard it is to balance security and freedom. Section 8. Unanswered questions. As weeks went by, the mystery of the drones only grew. The FAA, even though they tried, couldn't give a clear answer. The drones, like ghosts in the night, kept flying silently. No one knew their purpose or where they came from. The questions remained. Who is behind these drones? What are they doing? And what do they mean for the future of American airspace? The answers are still hidden, covered in secrecy and uncertainty.